Today we're going to take a look at the 2022 Mercedes-Benz GLB 250. This is the entry-level SUV for Mercedes-Benz. It's a luxury compact SUV. This particular model has a sticker price of $45,330. The exterior color is polar white, and this model isn't as spec'd out as it could be. But when you start adding options, obviously the price goes up pretty fast. But the pros of this model is that it has a good, comfortable ride. It's very nimble and easy to get around with. And it does have a lot of nice features for the price point of this particular model, but there are some things that are missing as well. And for 2022, you will find that there are some changes to available features, just the way things are packaged, and there is a new AMG Night package that you will find as well. Hopefully we can feature one of those in the near future. We'll just take a quick look here. You have everything you would expect here on the front end, and maybe something you wouldn't expect. We're gonna have fog lights on the lower portion of the bumper right there, sensors around the vehicle, and quite a few cameras. Let's talk about what's under the hood and what motivates this GLB 250 to get down the road. Under the hood is the turbocharged 4-cylinder. It's a 2-liter engine. It puts out 221 horsepower and 258 pounds-feet of torque. It's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. And here's the big advantage, especially right now with gas prices being as ridiculous as they are. What you'll find is the MPGs. 24 miles per gallon city, 32 on the highway, a combined total of 27, and 3.7 gallons of gas should be used for every 100 miles you drive. So there is a big advantage to that lower horsepower, at least for the time being, and in the long term, it will save you some gas money. Here is a quick look at the remote. You do have the Mercedes Me app that will allow this model to start remotely. That's not on the remote itself. One thing you won't find here, a couple of things that you won't find here, we'll get to them as we can, but you won't find a power rear liftgate. Obviously that's available if you need it, but let's talk about cargo capacity. 22 cubic feet all the way up to 62 cubic feet. There is a little bit more space located here under the floor if needed, and you can use this cargo cover if desired, the retractable cargo cover, to hide things away when you're out shopping, ladies, and whatever you're doing during the week. That is removable, by the way, if you want to. Now, how do you maximize to those 62 cubic feet of cargo space? Well, in this particular case, it's just a release right here. We'll release that, and that also shows that not only can you fold down these split rear seats back here, all 3 fold down, but you also have a pass-through right here that is a bit of an advantage. And we'll hop on inside here and take a look at what we have. Here is the size of your door bin. Let's see if we can get the camera down there. There we go. You can put a pretty good sized bottle in there, maybe a couple of snacks behind that. I will close the door to kind of help muffle some of the sound. Map nets on the back of the seats. It's not a map pocket, it's a map net, right? That's what it looks like, at least. It's net material. And you have the air conditioning vents back here, and also some connectivity with 2 USB ports, and right here is a power outlet. We'll take a quick look here at the passenger side door. A little bit larger door bin than what you have in the rear. What are those things I talked about that are missing? Well, you might notice right here, you do have heated seats, but they are not power adjustable, although they are adjustable, fully adjustable. It's the first time I think I've seen a Mercedes-Benz model since we started making these videos that were not power. So just so you know, they are heated seats. And you do have a large glove box right here to show you how deep that is. And maybe, I don't know how well you can see it on the screen. I know I can see it, but it's a little bright out here. There is some of the ambient lighting that is throughout the interior, a little bit more right down here. There is quite a bit. That's one of the features that is very prominent in this model. And I most certainly can't forget the fact that you do have the split sunroof, somewhat of a panoramic, but I'd call it more of a split than anything else, with the larger portion here in the front and a smaller portion in the rear. Give fair time to the driver's side door. Not much more here than what we saw on the passenger side. You do have the child locks and the adjustments for the power side view mirrors. Those are folding side view mirrors, so when you hit the remote, which I'll demonstrate that, might as well since we're here, right? Let me grab the remote out of my pocket and we'll hit the lock button just so that you can see those mirrors fold in, the turn signal indicators built in there, just so you know what is there. And then we'll hop back into the interior here. There is quite a bit here considering the price point of the vehicle. I think it does very well. we'll hit the push button start, which is right there. I like the fact that the auto stop start feature is right underneath. You can turn that off. That's always nice. And as you can see, there is our instrument cluster. You can go through quite a few features here and change a lot of things. I'll tell you what, even being the entry-level model that is not the highest end with all the options, you still have a lot of great features here that you can use and take advantage of. There's just no shortage. I really like that. Steering wheel mounted controls, paddle shifters here, as there is a sport mode. We'll look at the mode shortly. And you have the mini trackpad. You can go home. You can do whatever you need to do. I call that the mini trackpad, at least. As you can see, it's on both sides. This one corresponds with the screen here in the middle of the dashboard. Let's go ahead and get out of that, and we can go home and take a look at what's here. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You can pair your smartphone. All that good stuff is here. You've got your comfort and ambient lighting. We can go in here and change that. There it is, the 64 different colors that are available. You can make quite a few changes there, including going to the brightness settings. There's your Mercedes Me app. You can use that. Like I said, that's where you're going to find remote start, is in that app when you put it on your smartphone. And then settings for the vehicle, there is a lot here. You've got your assistance features, if I can get that to come up. Not as much as you can have, but it is available. You've got vehicle as far as different settings you can change there. We looked at lighting, and here is the dual zone climate control. You can change everything there. Obviously some connectivity here. If it had wireless charging, which it does not on this model, it would be located right here. There is a 12-volt power outlet right there, cup holders. And if you don't want to use the touch screen, the MBUX system, well, you can use the trackpad right here to work your way through things and go home, go back, whatever you want to do, you can do right there. It's pretty easy. That way, if you don't want fingerprints on the screen, well, there's your option. And here's how you select your driving modes. Let's take a look at exactly what those are, just like I promised. So you're going to start down here on Eco, Comfort, Sport, and then Individual. And if you're wondering what this is, it's kind of a wrist rest, so you can use the trackpad more comfortably. Several one-touch buttons for active park assist. You can go into the vehicle right here. Everything here easy to use. There's your volume control. You can push that down to mute the volume if you need to. And the Bombay doors revealing what really turns out to be quite a deep console. Very impressed with that, because it didn't look like it was going to be that deep when I first hopped into the vehicle. All right, the big test here. I'm in sport mode. We're going to see how well this GLB 250 accelerates. And I'm going to tell you what, not even at half throttle. I mean, maybe a little over quarter throttle right there. I must say, I'm pretty impressed. Let's go to the other extreme and go to Eco. Can I tell a difference? A little bit, but even in Eco mode, that's a bit of a surprise. Even in Eco mode, this little model gets down the road with absolutely no problem. So obviously, if you're looking to save the most gas, well, drive in Eco mode. And yes, I think I did just say gassed. I meant to say gas. That's just one of those things, but we're going to keep filming here. But I'll tell you what, so far I am very surprised. And one of the interesting things about what I've experienced here is that some of the reviews that I read in my research of this little GLB is that people were saying it's not much fun to drive. But to be honest with you, that has not been my experience. And remember, I am a major high performance enthusiast with a drag racing background. So for me to say it's actually fun to drive, that says a lot. That's just the way it is. So if you want kind of the ultimate feedback in that respect, well, there you go. But I really like this if you're looking to get into a Mercedes-Benz, but maybe you're pretty young or just don't want to spend a ton of money or whatever the case is. This is a great place to start. It's not hurting for horsepower, in my opinion. Now, if you had more passengers in here, well, maybe it'd be a little bit of a different story. I don't know. But I have to admit, everything has impressed me so far. The acceleration is solid. The ride quality is good. It really feels tuned very well for the road. That's probably the best way I can put it without saying too much more. Let's try that on for size, so to speak. Steering wheel is comfortable. I must say, I like the feel of the steering wheel. It's pretty large as far as what you wrap your hand around, but it's not so big that it's too big. I think just about anybody would be comfortable with this, but you feel in control. You don't feel like the steering wheel is too small or anything like that. If you've ever driven a vehicle with something like that, well, you probably understand what I'm saying and why I'm saying that. And the handling characteristics are actually pretty good as well. You might not expect that to be the case. I know that I'm not going to be able to get out on the road and really test that out too aggressively, but let's face reality. Somebody who buys something like this compact luxury SUV is likely not looking for the best handling vehicle or the fastest thing out there or anything like that. But what they are going to get is a really nice entry-level luxury SUV, luxury compact SUV that has enough power to definitely take care of business. It handles well. It actually, I think it's pretty fun to drive. Unfortunately, the person in front of me is apparently doesn't think it's fun to drive the speed limit because they're driving under it. But oh well, there's not much I can do about it at the moment except just tell you about my brief experience in the GLB 250. Do I think it's worth buying? Yeah, I think it is. Depending on your situation, this could be the ideal vehicle. It's fun. It's not meant to be sporty, but honestly, it has a little bit of that sporty flair to it. Mercedes-Benz is really good with that. The technology here is easy to use, and there is one thing I haven't shown yet, so let's see if we can do this real fast. We're going to mute that just so we don't get anything we don't need. But let's do this. This is the Mercedes-Benz user experience, the MBUX, and you can talk to Mercedes. So let's do that. Hey, Mercedes. Turn the ambient lighting to green.
Okay, I'm changing the color.
And that's just one of multiple colors you can ask for, that's true, but multiple commands you can give or questions you can ask. If you're cold, you can ask her to change the temperature, or you can just say, I'm cold, or I'm hot, or whatever the case may be. And since that slowpoke got out from in front of us, we'll just come through here and do kind of a soft handling test, if you know what I mean. We're not going too terribly fast, but I just want to see how the GLB 250 handles the road going through some corners right there. And not too bad, really. I'm not pushing hard by any means, but I can tell that it handles well. And really, for what it is, I am quite impressed. For the price point where this model falls, yeah, I think you're doing pretty well. You can obviously add a lot of features, a lot of options that aren't here. So depending on your situation, well, this may or may not be the right vehicle for you, but I tell you what, if it is, I don't think you're going to be disappointed.
To learn more about the model in today's video, visit the link in the description for a detailed comparison between trims and pricing for the vehicle we featured or any vehicle you may be interested in. These pages feature information such as our recommended trim level based on price, value, and features. Thank you for taking the time to watch today's video. We look forward to seeing you next time.